will close it. The door that I've opened, no magician will shut it. The door that I've opened, no situation will shut it. No devil, no demon will shut it. This door is open for you.
Get Married Now coaching program. It's beautiful. It's in 3 different modules. Each module has 10 different sessions. It's hilarious. It's amazing. It's full of value. Let me show you what you're going to learn in this coaching program. Number 1, you're going to learn the 7 common mistakes beautiful women, blessed women, intelligent women, smart women, professional women make that causes men not to commit, not to pop up the question, will you marry me? That causes men to distance and run away, thereby causing the relationship to prematurely die before it gets to a wedding and to eventually gets to a marriage. And so I'll show you seven common mistakes you are making. Number 2, I'm gonna show you the 7 intelligent questions to ask a man before you say yes to his proposal. These 7 questions are strategically designed to bring out truth from the man, to see whether he is a man, whether he is responsible, whether he's capable of loving. A lot of people get into a relationship only to realize they got into a relationship not with a man but a monster. So I've got 7 intelligent questions that you must ask him over a period of 21 days to see whether he is the man you really want. Number 3, what will you learn? You will learn the 7 simple, affordable gifts you must give to this man to wake up his desire for you and commit and pop up the question, will you marry me? Number 4, what will you learn? You will learn of the 7 different places you must go to be positioned and to be visible so the man can propose you. This is an amazing coaching program. Now, are you unhappy with your relationship? Are you tired of a relationship that is not working? You can end that problem today by signing up for Get Married Now coaching program. This is exclusively for the beautiful single ladies out there. As you'll see, there is a number there and an email. You can email me or call me or WhatsApp and we get you enrolled for this amazing Get Married Now coaching program. I'll see you in the master class where I coach women, help them get prepared, get equipped, and get positioned for a beautiful marriage. All right, I'll see you in my class.
Welcome once again to Grace TV. With me, Pastor J, on this platform, where we calling this program called the Pulpit Ministry. I am not alone. Yet again, I'm with my friend. Maybe you can introduce yourself.
My name is Reverend Stephen Dube. I am so happy to be here with you on Grace TV, man of God.
Sure.
Even as we are going to get into this wonderful topic.
Wonderful topic indeed. We, moving on, we are trying to work together with the audience out there, with other ministers of the gospel and everyone. We are back again discussing the challenges, the changes and the achievements that you men of God go through. Maybe before we go far, what do you take on this topic? What's your take?
Anyway, every career has its own challenges. Yeah, though I wouldn't want to reduce the call or the fivefold ministry just to a career, because it's more than that. It's not just a career; it's a calling.
Sure.
Yeah. So, even as men of God, there are a lot of challenges that we get to go through. I think one of them is the wrong notion that people have. There's always this notion where if you are a pastor, people will not think like you're working.
Sure.
And I think for that reason you find most of the time pastors have got more than one job that they're doing.
Yeah.
They could be running a business. They could even be employed somewhere else, and they're pastoring at the same time.
Sure.
And I think that is a lot for somebody to handle, because ministry just by itself has got a lot of demands.
A lot of demands.
So somebody to be involved in two careers per se. If somebody wants to do that, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. But I think the one most important thing we need to understand is that this is work.
This is work.
And at times people don't view the work that ministry, a pastor or ministry per se
as work.
But it is work.
It is work.
Yeah, it is work.
I see you, Toto Boss. You are connected. Thank you for being with us. Please continue joining us, and let's brainstorm together. Yes, it is work indeed. What are some of the challenges that easily come to mind that you've seen men? I remember discussing with the director one day. He was saying, I remember those days when we would walk just to be at a certain place of worship, and we would walk just to be there. And those used to be like challenges, but done with joy. But when like you said, when you've got so many other things, you're supposed to be at a place of fellowship, at a certain place where you're ministering, you're doing some things, and then there are other demands as well, maybe at home and things like that. What are some of the challenges that you've seen other men of God go through, and maybe which draw them backwards in not thriving in the area of ministry? You can see the anointing. You can see the calling. You can see the hunger, the desire for that man, that lady, that woman of God to do the work of God. But when you see at some of those, what are some of those challenges that you've seen, with our friends out there?
I think also the lack of support.
Lack of support.
Not having a good team behind you that you can work with. People that can stand with you in what God has called you to do.
In what God has called you to do. Doc, I see you, Doc. I see you, Doc. You are watching. Thank you for joining us.
Because you could be a vision bearer.
Yes.
You could be the one that God spoke to concerning the vision that you are pursuing or running towards. But that doesn't mean you have to fulfill that vision. It doesn't mean you have to run that course on your own. You need people that can stand. That can stand with you in that call. You need people that can support you. If you look at Moses, one example that I can give is Moses on the hill when Joshua was fighting the enemies in the valley there. His hands were up, and as long as his hands were up,
others were doing.
Joshua was winning. Yeah, but it came to a point where he got tired. He couldn't keep his hands up. So, but he had Aaron and her on the other side. So what did they do? They put a rock where he could sit, so he can be comfortable. And they helped him to keep his hands up. But at times, some servants of God do not have that kind of support. Do not have people around them that can stand with them in what God has called them to do. So I think that is a challenge. If you look at the world is talking about teamwork. So everybody needs a team that you can work with.
In order to
So,
succeed.
exactly. In order for the vision that God has given to you can be done. And I know at times that challenge can come about maybe because you've just not trained leaders, you've not allowed people to come around you that you can work with. But apart from that, finding people that are loyal.
Finding people that are loyal.
Finding people that can volunteer. Finding people that are willing to work with you. Yeah, in what God has called you to do. Is not an easy task.
It's not easy.
At times you can be leading a big church. Let's say you have 1,000 or 500 people in that church, but you discover maybe from a church of 1,000 you might only have 50 or 100 people that are standing with you or that are supporting you, and yet you need more people to stand with you and support you in the work that you're doing. So having the right people, having the right supporters around you. And when I say supporters, at times also the other challenge that servants of God might have is just the issue of finances.
The issue of finances.
I think that is a huge challenge.
Huge challenge.
And I think almost every servant of God, especially if you've had to pioneer work, is different when you are already in an established institute that is already thriving, and they already have the support and the finances. That could be a different story. But let's say you've pioneered this ministry. So to have people that can support you financially, at times that could be a huge challenge. The challenge of finances.
Challenge of finances. Challenge of
So two challenges that I've mentioned, or probably three actually. The wrong viewpoint of the work that you're doing, where people do not view what you're doing as work. So even as they are seeing you work, they might just say, why is this person bothering themselves? Why can't they go and find a job? But what they don't realize that at times maybe you did have a job and God called you from,
to you, that is from the major job.
Exactly. He called you from that work that you're doing to do what you're doing. And we see incidents of that in the Bible. Peter was a fisherman. John, James, they were fishermen. But Jesus called them from that work that they were doing so that they can be fishers of men. He gave them a different assignment. So now imagine that they're going about doing what they're doing, then somebody begins to view them like, why can't these guys just go back and fish? So that is number one. The second one is just manpower. To have volunteers, to have support. Having the right people that can be loyal, that can support you in what you're doing. Might not be easy to come by. That is a challenge by itself. And the issue of finances, which is number three, that I'm referring to as well.
You touched a little bit on almost like saying, the right. You said the right what? Being in the right.
The right volunteers, the right manpower, the right people.
Manpower. Okay. What is coming to my mind is when you're talking about leadership, or the right people who can help you get there. Now, I remember at one time EFZ had a program called where they were giving books, and ministers of the gospel had to pay something like 380 in order to collect some piles of books.
Okay.
What do you think of, in this time that we are into now? There are certain changes that have been taking place. And in those changes, there are times certain places, certain churches, they are used to a certain trend. And when the pastor comes in and tries to say, this time we'll try to be like this, we'll be doing things like this, and the church doesn't seem to get along with you in the change that is seemingly coming, which might bring fruition to other things, which, like you said, you are the vision bearer. As a vision bearer, you see that in this year, this has to be implemented. After 2 years, 3 years, this has to be implemented. But there are certain people who don't just adhere to change. when there is no keyboard, it's like you're okay. When you say, let's buy a keyboard, it's like that change might even cause other people to leave the church because they see that this man has that drain now. You know, so what do you have to say about some of the changes, that come, that would be able to be right changes and be able to help things to become the way they are supposed to be, as in ministry?
Okay, that's quite a broad question, but I think one way to approach it, first of all, is to prepare the people for the changes that you want they should come. Because at times, if you bring in change suddenly, just boom, you find man mostly is usually resistant to change. Because when you talk about change, it means you coming out of your comfort zone, maybe losing certain benefits that you've been getting. So because of that, foregoing certain traditions that you are used to, letting go of how you've been doing things maybe for years. It also demands you coming out of your comfort zone.
Sure.
So if you're comfortable where you are, then somebody suggests to you that, okay, or brings in change suddenly. Will be resistant to change. Though at times change will not wait for you to be prepared. Because, change at times will come as a result, maybe circumstances are changing. And you are pushed to it's either you change or you die.
It's either you change
it's either you change or you die. So I believe the best way you can do it is to begin to prepare the mindsets of people. You bring people to a place where they can see that, okay, we need this. The moment people recognize that this is something that they need, they'll go for it. They'll go for it. They'll embrace it. But as long as they cannot see that this is something they need and the fear is just being imposed on them, they will resist it.
They'll resist it.
They might even fight it. They might even rebel and leave. So you need to prepare the mindsets of people. You need to train them for that particular change that you want. For example, if you are bringing a keyboard and you're saying, okay, this is the music that will be playing, there will be this instrument that will be making this kind of noise, to just step on the example that you were giving. You need to prepare the mindsets of the people. You need to let them know that, okay, this is what's up and this is what we're going to do. And when this thing comes, it's going to benefit us this way. It's going to allow us to grow in this way. When you prepare people that way, they will embrace it. Not all will embrace it. Not also, all. You, as you are initiating that change,
you ought to have
you have to prepare yourself for those that will still resist you, for those that might still not want the change in spite of you explaining it. But when you come from that angle, I think you stand a better chance of yielding fruit.
You stand a better chance of yielding fruits. Kaban John Chimbaza is watching. Thank you so much for watching us, Mr. Chimbaza. And Dr. Mwami is also watching us. I've heard some people out there that talk about the work of the minister of the gospel, and almost like trying to bring mockery. Somebody was telling me that he met somebody who was saying, ever since you started doing this work, we have not seen, the fruit. And it's like there's that, a patch of mockery, on him. Are ministers of the gospel immune to challenges?
It would be naive for us to say they're immune, because I think the fact that you just say, okay, I'm going to become a preacher, you're calling challenges on yourself. Because you have enemies of the gospel out there that will want to fight you, the devil being one of them. And the devil might not come in spirit form and start attacking you, or appear to you and say, okay, I'm the devil, I want to attack you, and what. It might not happen that way. You work through people, you work through systems, you work through institutes that will try and fight you and resist you. So if you talk about being mocked and all that, I'll say, welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
If you see throughout the whole Bible, even Jesus himself, he was hated for doing what he was doing. When you're out there making a difference, when you're out there, you're radical, you're impacting lives, there will always be critics.
Yeah.
There will always be people that will be jealous of you. There will always be people that will be envious of you. There will be people that will try and discourage you, to literally tear you down, and make you feel like you're worthless. And on a sad note, at times it could be people that are closest to you.
Closest to you.
It could be your friend.
Your friends.
On a sad note.
Maybe even family members.
It could be even a spouse. If you look at Job,
Yeah.
who is it that told him, just curse God so you can die? It was his spouse. Who is it that mocked David for celebrating the victory that God had given to them?
Sure.
It was his spouse.
Sure.
So we have all these examples in the Bible. If you look at Paul was persecuted, and Jesus said, count it blessed when you are persecuted for my name's sake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so for when you say, okay, I'm going to follow Christ, when you say, I am going to serve Christ, you need to brace yourself, and you need to be ready that there will be a level of persecution that will come your way.
Juliet, Mommy, thank you for watching. God bless you. We see you. We see you. Thank you for your support. We see you. Thank you so much. You have to bless yourself for that. I've also seen people that, like somebody was trying to say, it is through this, through this same thing that you are doing, that you said you are into the ministry, the work of God. So even when they have the capacity to come in, to lighten the burden in whichever area, but they will still stand afar. What would you say to servant of the Lord who might be going through such kind of a scenario, situation?
No, typical of men. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, do not despise days or small beginnings.
Small beginnings.
When you have pioneered something, when you've just started a new work and maybe a new business, I know we're talking about servants of God. There will be those that will be watching you from the terraces, just waiting for you to fail.
Yeah, waiting for you to fail.
And there will be those that will be watching you from a distance, waiting to see, okay, where is this going? Or how long is he going to keep doing this? They want to see fruit from what you're doing, first of all.
First of all, they see fruit.
Yeah, you find that's when probably they might jump in and line up with you. Maybe even those that used to mock you, when they see your success, what would they begin to say? No, we knew him from way back. We knew this church when they were still in the classroom. Now that you've built and stuff, in fact, even a church at times when you're on a building project, be prepared to lose some members. Yeah, some people will leave you just because you are on that project. But the moment you're done, others are just waiting for you to be done so that they can join you and become a part of you.
And they'll be saying, in church,
yes, we were there. When it started, we were there.
We were praying.
We were praying.
We didn't just have the time to be, but we were together.
But also on the good side, ministry has seasons. So there could be that hard season, but even in that hard season, there will be one or two or three individuals that God will bring your way, that can walk with you in that hard time, that can walk with you in that season until you get your breakthrough, until you get your answer.
Until you get your answer. At this time, Reverend, I just want you to encourage. There are those that are just starting now. There are those that have been there and they've seen some major achievements, some success. But there are those that are just coming in now. What would be your word of encouragement to somebody who maybe hasn't even yet seen any challenge? Maybe they haven't even because they've seen the successes of other men and women of God making it, and they are getting in now. What would be your word of encouragement?
Like I said a few minutes ago, ministry has its challenges.
Ministry has its challenges.
And I know we've not touched each and every challenge. And also I said just a couple of minutes ago, the ministry has got different seasons. And I believe each season has got its own challenge.
Each season has got it. Just hold on. I see Sibongile Ziba Mwambazi. You are watching us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Please keep watching and please contribute. Let's hear your views. Let's hear your views.
Yeah, like I was saying, ministry will challenge you.
It will challenge you.
Ministry will test you.
Will
you will be tested.
You will be tested.
The best that you can do is to learn to depend on God. There's one thing that Paul said in the Bible. He said, the call of God,
sure,
the responsibility of ministry or leadership is not for the novice.
It's not for
You cannot step into this when you're still a novice.
Sure.
You might lose your life. That's
sure.
just how serious it is. Because some of the things that come, all hell can break loose on you just to, just to hinder you and to stop you from doing what you want to do. So one of the things, apart from you depending on God, 110%, I can never overemphasize the importance of you depending on God so that you can make it through all the different seasons. You don't need to lose sight of that.
Don't need to lose sight of it.
Apart from that, you need to be a man of the word or a woman of the word. You need to be a spiritual man. This is ministry is spiritual. So you cannot go into it while you yourself you're not spiritual. So it will demand you being a person of the word. It will demand you being prayerful so that you can make it and you can win through the different challenges and through the different seasons that you're going to go through in your life. So what I can say to that person going through challenges,
yes.
if you are sure that God has called you, I can guarantee you he will see you through. Don't give up. Don't relent. Don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged.
Keep the fire. Keep the joy.
Keep the joy.
And keep your focus on God. I believe once you do, these might not be the only things that you need to do, but if you do some of these things, you are going to make it. It's not a work that you do just out of your own strength to say, oh, I'm strong, or I'm clever enough. This is a work that needs God's grace. In fact, ministry is a work of grace.
Ministry is a work of
grace. So if God has called you, he will give you the grace.
He will give you the
through
grace.
All the seasons. He says, you walk through the fire and not get burnt. You walk through the water and not get drowned. So there will be all those different seasons that will come in your way. You feel like you're drowning, or you feel like you're on fire,
sure,
or you feel like running away, or you feel like just giving up. There will be many opportunities to be discouraged. There will be many opportunities to be depressed. But you need to be resilient and you need to be resolved and say, okay, I will trust God. I will put my trust in him. No matter what, I will look to God. I will go through this season, not alone, but with him. And definitely, if he is with you, and if he is the one who has sent you on that assignment, he will always be there to strengthen you. What happened to Jesus when he was in the garden? He was at one of his lowest moments in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was sweating blood, and when the burden of the world was just being put on him. What does the Bible say? It says the angel came and ministered to him. The angel came and strengthened him. I believe also when you are on an assignment that God has sent you, in spite of the challenges, he will give you grace to make it. When Paul prayed, God said to him, my grace is sufficient to you. What was Paul praying about? The many persecutions that he went through. If there's a man that suffered because of ministry, Paul is one of those men.
Paul is one of those.
But what did he call all those sufferings at the end of the day? He says, these light afflictions. Why would he call them light? Meaning he went through all those seasons not alone, but with God.
With God.
So when you are walking with him and you are facing all these different challenges that we might not even have touched, that you feel probably no one even understands you, you are not alone.
What do you say? What do you say to those who say, if you know that those are the things that are there, why go that way?
Interesting. If you know that those are the things that are there,
why go?
The core itself. Is it Jeremiah that said it's like fire burning in my bones?
Yeah.
You know, the call of God itself comes with a passion. You know, it comes with a drive. The call itself transforms a man. It changes you into a different man. You just don't think like the way any ordinary person would think. Meaning in spite of the challenge that is there, you are ready and you are willing to face it.
You are ready and you are willing. Ready.
Because of the call.
Yeah.
The fact that God has called you. You
Yeah.
know, the last thing you'd want to do is to disobey your God. So you want to honor him. You want to obey him. And depending with what God has called you into, even to a point of risking your life at times, that might not always be the case, but probably there could be many times when your life is coming into harm's way. But because of the passion and because of the one that has called you, Paul said he could not ignore the heavenly vision.
He could not ignore.
Yeah, so you won't ignore the heavenly vision. It has just come with a force that you can't say no to it. I know it's not under duress, but there's a working that God does in your heart where you get to a place where you're willing. You know, there are things I can say on a personal level that I didn't like when it comes with the call of God. But God has worked in my heart to warm up to those things, to become acceptable, to begin to embrace them and to realize, okay, this is coming together with the call. So what am I going to do? Your will be done. Not my will, but yours be done.
Your will be done. What are some of your the solutions which you think could be appropriate? What could be some of the solutions which might be applied?
I think first and foremost, you need to be prepared.
You need to be prepared.
You know,
yourself.
You need to be prepared. You as the man. You know, God has called you, so you as a man, you also need to be prepared. You know, at times zeal usually takes us over. And listen to me.
Yeah.
At times, actually, some of the sufferings that happen, they happen because people are not prepared.
Because people are not prepared.
You've just gone into it because you, like I said, the call comes with a force.
With a force.
You know, so because of the passion and the force that it has come with, so you go into it before you can be fully prepared. You know, but you need to allow yourself to get ready. You need to allow yourself you need to prepare yourself. And there are many ways that you can prepare. You can be coached, you can be mentored. You can go to school so that you are ready and you are prepared for what you're about to venture into. It would be so unwise of you to step out and yet you're not even prepared.
You are not even prepared.
And don't go if God has not sent you.
Don't go if God has not sent you.
Why would you want to go if he has not sent you?
If you haven't been sent, don't go. Because when you get to a place where you face challenges, you face hiccups, it will be tougher for you. But like Reverend said, if there is a call, God has called you, you are ready. Even when those things come, God will be there with you. Today, it has been awesome being with my friend, Reverend Dube.
Yes, sir.
It has been awesome being with you. Please, whenever the Lord gives you that time, that chance, please come over. Let's journey together on this one so that we can be able to see how we can be an answer, we can be a solution to many out there. You know, when we talk about pulpit ministry, we are in town, we are in Lusaka, but there are people that are in the deep end, in the forest where there are no vehicles. And when you look at the congregants, it's like almost nothing that is coming from there. And so we are trying to speak on behalf of the servant of the Lord out there, trying to encourage them so that they don't lift their hands, give up, and let off. So that one day they may be able to testify the goodness of the Lord. As you and me stand with them, join them, and see areas of need, and then be able to come on the bandwagon and be able to stand with them. Like you said, Moses, Joshua was there, and the rest of the team, they were there. Jesus, the disciples were there. And so you and me might have here and there some few supports and some few things coming our way, but there are other people out there that might be going through tough time. What will be your last word as we come to the end of our program today?
Don't give up. The challenges are real.
Sure.
Yeah. At times they might even be more real than the actual call itself. The actual call has become all don't give up. Keep moving forward. And if you are out there, maybe God has blessed you financially, please find a way to support others as well, especially those that are in the outskirts there. Many people to support them. Support them in the work that they're doing. They're impacting, changing lives.
To those of you that may be watching us, maybe anywhere, please feel free to get in touch with us. Just